Hey, good morning YouTube. How you guys doing? I am now at the British Motor Museum. So I am very excited about this opportunity. This museum not only focuses on some classic and vintage cars, but it specifically focuses on British classic and vintage cars. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to film here and to capture the cars and exhibits they have on display. So we are now going to go and frequent the museum and see what we can find. Let's get to it. So first we have a 1929 Morris Minor. And I say I've never heard of a Morris Minor before. And there is a dash. Oh, here we have a 1931 BMW Dixie. Okay, so I'm assuming this is obviously not a British car, but hey, that's fine. It's still a beautiful car nonetheless. Next we have a 1929 Austin 7 Avon. Wow, I just love that color combo. Here is the interior of the Austin 7. Next we have a 1938 Austin 7 Ruby. And it's so beautiful to see these like clearly pre-World War II cars here. Next we have a 1936 Morris 8 Series 1 Saloon. Check out this 1925 Austin 7 Chummy. And look at patina. Look at the patina on this. And look, is that a soft top also? So I presume the top goes down on this. Look at that. I have to love when the car is in total vintage form here. Look at that. And look at the beautiful hood ornament and badging on this 1931 Austin 7 Swallow. And look at that beautiful color combination. And look at the gorgeous shape of this car too. Now that is a beautiful front on this 1931 Morris Oxford light car. And look at the gorgeous blue, the chassis and the wheels both. Yeah, this is a stunner. Now, could you imagine bringing this baby down to Seattle City? How much attention you would get? Oh, that beautiful pure vintage interior. And then look at this 1935 Austin 7 racing car. This looks very much like one of the cars we saw at Goodwood Revival. And look at the gauges here too. Just look at how sporty it looks. Next we have a 1936 Austin 7, another racing car. Looks very much like one of the cars we saw at Revival. And then look at the gauging there. Look how sporty that is. Oh, look at that seat. Ooh, I love how plush that looks for a race car too. And we're going to finish off this room, this section, with a 1936 Austin 7 racing car in a green. I wonder if this is British racing green. That's a beautiful color. Looks like you have leather interior here. And yeah, I just love the gauging. I love the sporty gauging on these Austin race cars. Hey, how you doing everybody? So there actually are a lot of cars to cover here. I heard there are like around 400 cars. So this museum has a lot of cars and there is a lot to cover. So it may be difficult for me to capture each car. So what we're going to do is we're going to get an overview first, and then maybe we will go and capture some of the cars just to make the most of the time. So let's get to it, folks. So we're going to go and just walk here, capture these cars. You got a 71 Rolls Royce Silver Shadow here. Next we have a 1959 Morris Mini Minor. Next we have a 1948 Land Rover. Look at that green color too, that's beautiful. Next, we have a 1926 Vauxhall OE type. And I just love design of these like pre-1930 cars. And look at how plush the seating is. I think this kind of goes to show that cars back then were more of a luxury item. You can even see it here on this dash. I mean, it looks like these are all like, this is all very high quality here, especially for back then. So I'm venturing to guess that this car was not available for like your average Joe. This is for like people that can, the very few that can afford cars back in the day. And then check out the 1925 MG old number 1. This is gorgeous. The young lady correctly asserted that 2 people can fit in this car. And it looks small, but you can clearly see that 2 people can fit in here. And then look at the gauging here. It makes me wonder if this was resto modded, but it doesn't look resto modded. This looks like actual, like, this is basically OEM. That's very impressive. Wow. Now that is gorgeous. And believe me, YouTubers, I am not trying to be biased here towards my own country. This is a Ford Model T Torpedo. And I am not trying to be biased by flattering a car from my country, but this car is beautiful. This is a gorgeous car. This is what opulence looks like back in the 20s when only the super rich could afford these cars. Wow. That's even more beautiful. This 1905 Vauxhall. 797 horsepower. Did I read that correctly? Wow. That is freaking stunning looking. This is clearly a 2-seater. And yeah, I just love the upholstery and oh wow. Yeah, you just get shivers when you see something this vintage. Check this out. An 1896 Wolseley. Oh, I've never seen any one of these before. Look, oh my goodness. The level of swagger you must have had to be pimping something like this. And you got the back seat over here too. Oh my goodness. And then an 1886 Starley Rover safety cycle. Yeah, this is definitely a... Wow, okay. Check out this 1961 Ford Zodiac. I have never heard of a Ford Zodiac. I have been to plenty of American classic car events, but have never seen something like this. Next, we have a 1973 Ford Capri. A 1973 Ford Capri MK1 is what this car is. In a stunning green. Next to that, we have a 1974 Ford Escort MK1. This one here is a 1986 Ford RS200. And check out the front of this car. Have you ever seen anything like that before? Next, we have a 1987 Ford Sierra. 87 Ford Sierra XR 4x4. Now I'm just going to go down the line here. 2002 Ford Fiesta. The blue one here is a 2004 Ford Focus. And we finish this roll off with a 2015 Mustang. So, you know, I was incorrect. We do have some American representation here. It's not only British cars here, so I correct myself. Then from vintage and classic, we go right to something a lot more modern. Check out this Lotus Emira. Look at the color scheme on this. Wait till you see the side. Look at the wheels. And I believe this is a wrap. And if you look closely, which I'll pan in on, this wrap has the name of every single person that worked for the company in 2024. But this is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to zoom in on it in a second, folks. So here's the Emira badge, and all of these people worked for Lotus in 2024. Hey folks, so I just want to correct myself here. So this actually is a 10,000 Emira, and all those names are for people that worked for the company in December of 2024. But that's quite a tribute with that. Well, I'm assuming that's a wrap. Putting that wrap on there with everyone's name on there. That's just an amazing tribute, and I think it shows how much Lotus respects their workforce. And then check this out. You have a 2019 Evija sectioned off hybrid. Look at that. Isn't that cool to see, folks? That's cool. So you kind of been partially gutted. Look at that console too. That is a really sweet design. Lotus really upping their game. And this is a gorgeous color. It's kind of this gold. It looks like a matte gold. This really makes this car look really, really exotic. I mean, it already is an exotic car, so, but that makes it more exotic. And then check this out. You got this 1933 Ford Model Y hiding out here. A lot of Ford representation here. That's really cool to see. Sorry guys, I do this every single time. Every car show I go to, I try to get each and every car, but I'm gonna just try to repeat myself again and see if I can stick to it. That, you know, this section's a little bit bigger, so I think here we're gonna have to go more overview. So we'll see if I can stick to that plan. Let's go, folks. So first thing is, I just love how these cars are arranged. Kind of like in a circle here, and then you have like two other cars in the middle here. This green one here is a 2002 MG RDX 60. Look at this. 1969 Austin Zonda. That is beautiful. 1969 Mini 9X. Oh, look at this 1970 Crompton Leyland. Oh, wow. Look at the paint on this too. Okay, so we just got this section over here, and now I am panning around. The first car here is a 78 Triumph Lynx. Beautiful color. Oh, the 66 Vauxhall. Wow, boy, Vauxhall really had some really exotic looking designs back in the day. 1962 Mini Twin Tweenie Moke. 1969 Austin Ant. 1947 Nuffield Gutty. And we finished the section off with a 1955 Road Rover. So very, very impressive array of cars that we're seeing here. Check out the shape of this car. 1967 Rover Alvis P6 BS. Yeah, this is something different. Look at this freaking car. I don't even know what to make of it. My God. What an interesting design. Look at those lights. And we got the creme de la creme. 1970 Vauxhall SRV concept. Look at this car. For any of you Gen Xers out there, maybe even boomers, you might get some nostalgia, because I know I might have seen this in some magazines or something and started drooling as a child. Look at this thing. This is a freaking spaceship. Even for today's standards, this car is just, oh my God. This thing's out of this world. I tell you, boy, Vauxhall, my goodness, making a statement. And then we'll grab these elevated cars. The first one here is a 64 MG Mini Prototype. And the next one here is a 70 MG Prototype. And this last car over here is an 85 MG. And boy, look how futuristic it looks. Film it here. There's, I'll see if I can go around and get the back of this. Yep, here's the back. Okay, we will now grab this row. Look at this thing. Look at this car. Also something out of this world. This is a 1955 Rover T3. Then the kind of light blue car is a 56 Rover T3. There's a shot right there. Next. Look at this grill here. Wow. You have another Rover, a 61 Rover T4. And we finished off with something very, very sporty looking. Oh my God, those lights. Jeez. 63 Rover. I tell you, the cars in the 60s, especially the British cars, they're really all about making a statement. I just can't get over the design of these freaking cars. They're so damn beautiful. So we'll get this section over here now. And the first car that has a really nice wrap on it. It's a 2017 Jaguar I-Pace prototype race car. And then next, we have a 1983 Jaguar XJR. And then we have a 2008 Jaguar XFR. Ooh, look at the front of this. Oh wow, that's so Jaguar too. 1976 Jaguar Broadspeed XJC V12 Racing Coupe. That's a stunner, folks. Continuing on, we have A more modern Jaguar, a 2003 Jaguar S-Type. Look at that color. Look at the headlights. Definitely more, a little more modern. Grab these two F1 race cars here. Jaguar Formula E and a 2000 Jaguar R1. Two Formula One race cars. And we will finish this section off. Oh, look at that grille. Look at that front. The 53 Jaguar C-Type. Yeah, I'm just really impressed with the British car designs. I really am. So we will now get this section of cars. Again, I'm so impressed with the fronts of these cars. This one here is a 1965 Alvis TE21. What a beautiful and elegant shape. I love that color too. Ooh, check this out. 1970 Reliant Regal Supervan 3 Royal Mail livery. So, looks like we have a delivery vehicle here. Oh. This thing should have been at freaking Revival. Would have stole the show. Ooh, 1975 Wolseley 2200. The last of the line and the last Wolseley. Oh, this car emanates 70s. Look at that. You got the Wolseley badge on there. Oh, look at that, folks. Okay, finishing off with something American here. 1982 Ford Cortina 80. It's almost like they knew I was coming. They put the American car over here to finish off last. All right. And it's a Ford I've never seen before. Boy, look at that design. That's different. So now we will get this back section of cars over here. And look at that. Look at the color on this. This first car here is a 1967 Austin 1100 Mark I. Beautiful, beautiful car. Wow. Look at this one here. Some more American representation. 68 Ford Anglia. And it has like the rear wings, like the Impalas and the Bel Airs, and even the Thunderbirds. Wow. Ooh. Beautiful color. I love those rear headlights on this. And this is a Hillman. A 1969 Hillman Super. And look at this one here. This is a 1971 Reliant Scimitar, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then we finish this row off with an Austin Mini Metro. Yes, sir, folks. This is the 1980 Austin Mini Metro. And yes, I knew it was from the 80s. I could just tell by the shape. Looks very similar to the first car I had, which is an 84 Toyota Tercel. So we just got these section of cars here, and now we got to get this section over here, and there's another section in the middle. So let's get this section first. Let's go on, folks. First car here is a Hillman. Again, I'm seeing a lot of names that I have not seen before. That's what makes this so special. Ooh, look at that two-tone, the beautiful dark navy blue and the cream color, the wheels and the top. Oh my goodness. 1955 Hillman Mini Minx Californian. And then this looks like a Metropolitan, a Nash Metropolitan maybe. Ooh, look at that trim there. Ooh, this is beautiful. 1958 Austin Metropolitan. Okay, not a Nash. Austin Metropolitan. My bad, folks. Look at this baby here. Whew, look at that shape. And this here is a 1953 Triumph. Our first Triumph, folks. The Triumph Mayflower. 1953 Triumph Mayflower, folks. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at the shape of this. 1949 Ford Anglia. Another Anglia. Wow. We finish off this row. This car gives me Volkswagen vibes. Like bug vibes here. Although I doubt it's a bug. This is a 1948 Morris Minor. Now we are going to get this outside row or inside row, however you want to call it. Whoa, what a beautiful and elegant color. A beautiful and elegant color on this 1950 Rover P475 Cyclops. Oh my lord. This is gorgeous. The back wheel partially hidden, and then the gorgeous two-tone with that kind of gold-like trim there. Sorry, I didn't mean trim, I meant pinstriping. Oh, this is stunning. A 1955 Armstrong Siddelli. Wow, that is breathtaking. And then look at this. Very interesting color here. Very interesting hood ornaments. 1955 Stanford Family 8. And we have another Austin, folks. Austin A40. This right here is a 1960 Austin A40 Farina. An A40 Farina, folks. Ooh, look at that sexy font. Vauxhall Deluxe, folks. A Vauxhall Deluxe. And what a gorgeous color, too. I just love the stainless badging on this. 1964 Vauxhall Viva HA. Ooh, what a beautiful ride. So next, we're going to get these cars that are assembled in a circle over here. So let's get to it, folks. Now this, folks, is something you pimp at the shore. At the Jersey store, in my case. A 1935 Morgan Super Sports. Imagine rolling up the OD in this. Man, you will hog all the attention. Probably piss off the cops, but that's okay. Yeah, this car is no doubt hot. That interior. Woo, wow. I love that wood there. Ooh, and check out this Lotus. Boy, Lotus's design was really different back then. And this is a 1969 Lotus 7 S3. Boy, very sporty looking. And we'll grab the interior, why not? Wow, very sporty. Oh yes, I am a happy camper. Do you know why? Because I am in the presence of a 1961 TVR Grand Tourer. Now, I was always big into TVRs when I was younger, and it's so good to see our first TVR here. And we'll pan out on this beautiful, gorgeous TVR here. Look, ooh, look at that shape. My goodness. What a beautiful car. I think it has to be the best hood ornament I've ever seen. And that title goes to a 1935 Rover 12 Saloon. Wow. Oh, that is breathtaking, folks. Regal Special, if I'm pronouncing that remotely correctly. Whew. Boy, look at the shape of this thing. Wow. And we are going to grab the interior, folks. Oh. Again, you have those very sporty looking circular gauges with your stainless steel trim on the outside. Very beautiful, very elegant. Now we move on to a 2011 McLaren MP4C, and this was the very first production car after the iconic F1 in 1985, the one that broke all the records, the top speed record. There she is, folks. This is a very beautiful design. You look at the spoiler. It looks like it's active aero on there too. For 2011, and let's zoom in on here. You got the exposed hood bay, or engine bay rather. And then look at those vents. Look at the size of the vents here. So yes, even though it might pale in comparison to the 720S and the 765 LT, look at the size of these vents. So McLaren really was serious in getting back in on the action and reestablishing themselves, you know, as a top tier company, which they've always been. Next we have 2001 Aston Martin Vanquish. Okay, this is the first time I've ever in my life seen a Jensen. And this one is a 1970 Jensen FF Series 2. So seeing some really unique cars here. A 1971 Lotus Europa. Now wait till you see the shape of this car. Look at that front. Very, very sporty front. And then look at the shape. Let's see if I can pan out here. Look at the shape of that back. It looks like you have decent vision here, or decent viewpoint here, rear view here. So definitely a very avant-garde design. Well, I guess it was typical of the 60s and 70s. Check out the 2008 Lightning GT. And look at those lights. So very beautiful, beautiful design. This Lightning here, this is an electric sports car. Yes, this company focuses on electric sports cars. Wow, look at the back of this. And definitely very, very serious about designing a sports car that looks stunning as well. Check out this split in half 1965 MG MGB GT. But boy, look at the color on this. I know it's split in half, but this, that is a beautiful car, especially for those of us that just love and crave the classics. Very cool to see the guts and internal workings of a car. My first time getting the interior of a half car. Again, very, very sporty British style design on this MG. And you have the plush seats here. Look at that back seat, my goodness. Hardly any room, but still. And then another MG. Before they went with their smaller style of cars. A 1931 MG 18 by 80 Mark 1. Gotta love that door handle there. Wow. I love the red and black too. Beautiful. Next we have a 1932 MG J2 Midget. Look at that green. And we have some pretty luxurious seats in a race car, or in a sports car rather. Whew, wow. Look at that dash. This is definitely one of the more beautiful sports dashes I've seen. Okay, a 1933 Singer. I've never seen any of these before. I've seen the Zinger, which is an American company, American hypercar company, but not a Singer, folks. Beautiful. There's the interior, and we've seen this before. This we have seen. We've seen these kind of dashes before, and it's very beautiful. Look how you have, like, it's not like squared off and like imposing like your American classic. Just definitely a very, very unique, almost like an artsy, like you have a double kind of semicircles there, what have you, and the wood trim there. Gorgeous. Sorry, I didn't mean wood trim there. I meant like just wooden dash. But anyway, this here is a 1954 MG TF Midget here. And I don't think this is black. I think this is a dark blue or dark violet or something. Yeah, the chassis doesn't look black. Ooh. I have not seen a dash like that. Check that out. Look at the shape of the gauges there. That is very cool, folks. Next, check out this 2013 Caterham Aero 7. Look at the elongated front on this. Boy, this is an absolute stunner. That's why they put it in the center. You know, your heart just stops when you see V12. It just stops, folks. This particular V12 here belongs to the 1991 Jaguar XJR15. And look at the shape. It almost looks like an Acura NSX. I hate to compare that, but it does. But it's a beautiful car. And look at the spoiler in the back. Whew, wow. Total like retro 90s design. Alright folks, so we've covered all of these cars over here, but now we have to cover, got the Lego car there, all of these cars over here. And I'm beginning to appreciate how big this museum really is. So let's get moving, folks. So check out this 2017 Mini Cooper Lego style. This whole car made with Legos. Very, very impressive. You know, I really wish I had some Grey Poupon, because that's what I think when I see this 1936 MG. Look at the size of this car. I mean, this car just emanates royalty. Look at this freaking car. I know it's hard to see, folks, but I have to get the interior of that. Look at that dash. Again, look at the attention to detail and look at the quality. You can just tell those materials are very high quality. So you know this car is pure opulence. Wow, look at the front of this 1933 Raleigh 9 Cristal. I was about to say 1936. 1933 Raleigh Cristal. Love the shape of that. And next we have a 1936 MGNB Magnet. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but you guys get the point. This is the beautiful car. Yeah, I just love when you have like this, how rustic this car is, but then you have this really, look at that, look at the wood paneling, and then look at the shape of the dash. Again, you have the same like kind of double, kind of semicircle or semi-oval, whatever you want to call it. Very cool design. Wow, Trojan. I wonder what you guys think when you hear Trojan. But this is referring to the 1924 Leyland Trojan Tourer. Look at the wheels on this. Love how the wheels match the body of the car. And look at this. The soft tops, so you have the swagger. Decent room you have in the back there. I think these seats look pretty plush for that time period. And then, is that bronze? Look at that. Again, looks like you have some pretty high quality materials here. Very simplistic, but still making the point that this is still something that you might not be able to afford if you're not of the upper echelon. And then we finish off this row strong, folks, with a 1932 Morris Cowley. Yes, sir, folks, 1932 Morris Cowley. In a beautiful color, beautiful trim. You have the cream color trim on there. Gorgeous. So now we are going to get the outside row here. And look at this. This is a 1929 Standard 9. And I just love the cars that they look black, but I don't know if this is a black or not, or like a navy blue. In any case, this black or navy blue car is of a 1932 Austin 12.6 Harley. Again, cannot stress the beauty of the pre-World War II cars or pre-1930s cars. Not sure if I'm going to get a bit of a backlash for this, but I get some of the airflow vibes, Chrysler airflow vibes from the back of this car. But wow, I do not get any Chrysler or anything remotely close to Chrysler or Mopar with that freaking hood ornament. My goodness. 1934 standard 1012 speed line. What a way to distinguish yourself from everything else. That is a freaking stunner. And we go back to Vauxhall. And look at this beautiful neutral silver you have on this Vauxhall here. Yeah, I just love the hood ornaments and the badging of these cars. And this one here is the 37 Vauxhall H-Type 10. Next we have another Wolseley. Not pronouncing that correctly. Now that's a beautiful badge. Look at the font on that too. Beautiful. So this is the 37 Wolseley 1456 Series 2. Police car too. Look at that. Hey everyone, hope you're having a good time and hope you're enjoying the footage at this point. So actually I was close on the pronunciation, but I was off. It's a Wolseley, not a Wolsey, so I was just mispronouncing the L. So this is a Wolseley, and this is the police car, and this finishes off this row over here. So now we're going to continue onward. Let's keep rolling, folks. So check out this monstrous piece of machinery here. And this monstrous machine is a 1958 Land Rover Series 2 Cuthbertson's conversion. So this car was converted, I guess, with the tracks there. So it looks like it's more like a tank than a car, but look at that. Wow, check that out, folks. This one here is a 1968 Land Rover Series 2A. Has total military vibes on this. And you get the bike here too. Yeah, so this sort of like pink colored military style vehicle was used by the British Special Forces as the desert car, so hence the military vibes. And then right next to that is a 1985 all-purpose bike. So a nice little touch there. And our next car here is a 19 '69 Range Rover, first of line. And beautiful color too. Look at this. It's a 1969 Range Rover, folks. Look at that. And now we return back to some opulence in this 1907 Austin 30 horsepower Tourer. Look at this. What an elegant looking ride. It's one of those cars you could just kind of continuously film this car because it's so beautiful. Yeah, look at the seating. Look at how plush the seats look, and look at how roomy the back of this is. So right away I get the impression that this car was specifically designed for people that could only afford cars back then, so hence the car giving off the opulent impressions there. Okay, so back to some modernity. This is a 2004 Range Rover concept car. This is beautiful too. Look at this. Very beautiful looking car. And you have some very interesting design language on here. So certainly some avant-garde design strategy here with this car. And here we have a 1949 Land Rover Series 1. Love that green there. And next we have a 1975 Land Rover military ride. Boy, does this thing look imposing or what? You see this, you move out of the way if you see this thing coming. Look at what we have here, folks. Some American representation. 2004 Fab 1 Thunderbirds limousine movie car. Oh my lord, look at this freaking thing. I don't remember seeing this movie. So this is Lady Penelope's car. And I'm going to say I'm totally ignorant to what movie or movies this might be referring to. But anyway, let's just... Oh my goodness, look at the way the top opens and closes. Look, oh my goodness. Look at the space here in the back. Oh my god. Wow, I don't even have the words. And this car has a top speed of around 250 miles an hour, by the way. Okay, Gen Xers, prepare to feel nostalgic. It is a DeLorean. Not only is it a DeLorean, it's the Back to the Future DeLorean. Look at this, folks. Doc Brown, baby, representing. Anyway, some of you may remember that movie Back to the Future starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. And it looks like this car is very well detailed and very well presents that car from that movie. I have to say, I am very impressed with the representation of the Ford Anglia here. And these are really, really beautiful cars and look very, very European style, but it still has a little bit of that American presence. It looks almost a little like a mini Studebaker from the back, doesn't it? So not surprisingly, and I was wondering this as I was filming and kind of blabbing, but this is produced by Ford UK, so this is definitely a UK section of Ford that produced this car, hence the very European like style in here. But it is cool how you have the little fins in the back, and it's almost like it's still trying to keep the American design, you know, American design elements in, you know, what is clearly a European style car. And check out those side mirrors, how they're located on the hood and not anywhere near the driver or passenger. Now, this is sexy. Look at the patina on this, on the delivery car. Very much like the Royal Mill delivery truck we saw earlier. This here is a 1972 Reliant Regal Supervan. And boy, you just have to be really impressed and awestruck by the design of this. And here we have a 1999 Land Rover SVX. And we'll now grab the interior. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, this is very interesting. This here is a 1980 Ford Capri Ghia MK3. So it kind of has the Volkswagen vibes there. The Volkswagen Ghia is what I think of. So it doesn't appear to have any relation to the Volkswagen Ghia at all, but it's just... What an interestingly shaped car, too. So we have ourselves another movie car, folks. This is a Land Rover from Judge Dredd. This is a 1995 Land Rover, and look at this design. It definitely almost looks like a transformer. Look at the front of that. It looks like a freaking face or something. And those of you that watch my channel know I'm a big movie buff, but I hate to say I did not see Judge Dredd. I believe Sylvester Stallone was in that. In any case, look at that vehicle. Amazing. So check this out, folks. This is the 1935 Hutchings Royal Winchester Caravan. I venture to guess you don't see too many of these running around the streets. And I love the door on this. Look at that door. That is the coolest door I've seen. You guys are about to see the definition of sexy. Well, at least my definition of sexy. A 1923 London omnibus. An AEC Type S bus. Sorry, I couldn't get the whole thing in focus there. Yes, sir, the London omnibus. Look at this. Look at that. I'm sorry, that's sexy to me. Look at that. That is beautiful. And then you even have the steps going down. That is so cool, folks. So I'll give it one last pan here. Yes, sir, the London omnibus. Look at that. I just love the colorful badge on this. This is the 1919 Wolseley E2A Stellite. Again, the seats and the top just kind of give me luxury vibes. And especially even with the small dash, it looks like very high quality materials used, and it looks like definitely, again, one of the things where the cars were only able to be afforded by the rich. And next we have a 1911 Rover Imperial motorcycle. Check it out, folks. As I'm going through this museum, I'm becoming more and more impressed with the uniqueness and I'm going to say rareness of the cars that I'm seeing. This one here is a 1909 Albion A6. So sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Oh, that is a stunner. Definitely, again, looks like something very luxurious. Goodness, look at the room in the back. That's like almost roomier than some of the cars today or something. The plush seating over here. And then again, you just have, again, high quality materials here. And then, again, probably back then, this is what driver focused was. You have everything here for the driver and passenger too, I suppose. But beautiful, beautiful car. Look what we have here, folks. This is a 1907 Raleigh Popular 4 car. I thought it was 1970 at first. Luckily, that's a little bit off in years, but look at this. Ooh, another fine piece of automotive art here. Look at the color of the wheels. Love that old horn there. And this is a 1909 Riley. Oh, that's stunner. Look at that, folks. And then another example of something very large and luxurious. This here is a 1980 Vauxhall Army staff car. A D-type Army staff car, okay. I just cannot get over the room in this car, especially in the back. You gotta love that small rear view window there. So this is a 1913 Standard. And a very beautiful color here too. And then the last car in this section is a 1922 Rover 8. Look at that, folks. Hey everyone, hope you're all having a good time. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. I think we've made some pretty good progress so far. We've covered a lot of cars so far. So the next section over here behind me, we got these cars over here we're going to cover. So let's keep rolling, folks. So next, check out this 1908 Austin 100 horsepower Grand Prix racing car. And then next, we have a 1922 Austin 20. This car drove from London to Cape Town. There was a lot of room in the back, so perfectly appropriate for a long trek from London all the way through Africa. And then look, You even have like the whole trip mapped out on the body of the car. Isn't that cool? Wow. Then we have another long distance car here. This is the 1955 Austin A90 Westminster. So I believe this car went from North Cape to South Cape. Look at that. Next car here is a 1959 Austin 7 Downton. It almost looks very much like a Fiat. Look at that. Next we have a 1978 Triumph TR7 rally car. In the old days, it was more important to have beautiful and gorgeous badges, and also, oh, look at the front of this. 1953 Triumph TR2 prototype. Oh, what a stunner of a car. Next we have an MG Metro 6R4 rally car, another prototype. And look how aggressive the body looks too. Next is a 1938 Isaganis. Looking very much like a Goodwood Revival race car. Look at that. Check out this 1964 Austin Healey Sprite Lemon Le Mans Coupe. Ooh, love the color. Next we have a 1978 March Triumph 783 Formula 3 Unipart racing car. Ooh, look at that badge. This is a 1936 era R8B/C. Next is a 1970 March Ford 701. Then we have a 1953 MG YB rally car. Beautiful color, folks. Now I am getting nostalgia vibes. This is the 2001 TVR Tuscan T400R. I was always in love with TVRs. I've always loved these cars. I love their aggressive design. This makes a Dodge Viper look like a freaking, I don't know, I can't even think of it. It's an aggressive car. And it does give you Dodge Viper vibes. So it is a beautifully designed car. Let's walk around her a little bit. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, look at the spoiler. And look at those lights. I think this is how TVR definitely distinguished themselves, was with their lights. Very interesting light design they have. 1925 Morris Oxford Red Flash Special. And it looks gorgeous in red. And now we're going to finish off the section with the cars in the middle here. We got three beautiful red cars here. This first one here is a 1963 Morris Mini Cooper. This one is a 64 Mini Cooper. And this last one here, a 66 Mini Cooper. There you have it, folks. Oh wow, an 1886 Benz, replica of the first car. So this is supposedly based off the first car that Carl Benz made. I believe that's the one that his wife drove all the way, like, long distance to prove the robustness of the car, of the first car. And next we have a 1907 Riley. Love that green. And that is a beautiful badge that Rover designed on this 1907 Rover, a 20 horsepower Rover. Again, another example of something very beautiful and luxurious. And check this out. 1907 Austin York, 40 horsepower. Look at that color. I'll see if I can get a better shot. That's definitely a better shot of her. Next we have an 1899 Riley. Hey folks, so these three-wheeled vehicles here, the ones that were kind of like right before the 19th century, they were considered really fashionable. around that time period, and also they were also used as a more economic version, or rather a more economic alternative to some of the cars. So they were something that were more affordable, and they gained a bit of fashion momentum back in that time period. All right, now we're getting serious, folks. This is the 1954 MG EX79, the speed record car. This one has a top speed of 170 miles an hour back in 1954. Think about how impressive that is. And very slick and aerodynamic design too. And this is the 1938 speed record car. Top speed of 203. Okay, really? And look at the design. Boy, MG really showing off their, their R&D department. Wow. And now we jump to 1998. MG EX255. This one has a top speed of 255 plus miles an hour. Jeez, this thing even looks fast. But you know what's funny is that I could swear that the cars of those other cars that were like from the 30s and 50s actually look just as aerodynamic, or if not more aerodynamic, than the more modern car. This one here is a 1957 MG EX181, and on the Utah Salt Flats, it got to 245 miles an hour back in 1957. So very impressive engineering achievement there. And this car is absolutely breathtaking to look at too. Back in 1957, look at that thing. So this is the engine used in the EX181, and basically it's only 290 horsepower, but basically they added a supercharger to it. It was a Shorrock supercharger, and it was run on a methanol mix, so you can achieve the power and the torque necessary for the absurd 254 mile an hour run that they did. Sorry, 254.91 mile an hour run. And this beautiful baby here is a 1921 Morris Oxford F-Type. And I mistakenly thought that was a hood ornament on the hood there. No, it is actually, I believe it is the engine temperature. And I'll go through that in a second. This basically indicates if your inside is normal, boiling, cool. So it doesn't really have an exact gauge on here. It just kind of gives you like a rough indications of temperature on here, but very, very cool. And I couldn't help noticing that the interior, look at the seats. Look how plush the seating is. And again, you have just another fine example of luxury. Just look at the quality of the materials on this. So very, very beautiful. And then next we have another Wolseley. I'm going to get that pronunciation right, folks. And I love that badge, and I love the font on there. This is the 1939 Wolseley 8 prototype, Lord Nuffield's personal car. Next we have a 1923 Austin 7 Shummy. There you go, folks. Not quite as much room in this one here, but still a very interesting interior design. Look at that, folks. We have another Land Rover. Look at this beautiful maroon color. This is the 1953 Land Rover. This is a royal ceremonial vehicle. Maybe that's why it looks so elegant, but I love that color. And look at the pinstripe, the bright red pinstripe against the maroon color. At the back here, look at the safety features they have on here, which I'm guessing this is kind of a safety feature right there. Or actually, no, it's not. I think it just separates. I don't even know, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm going to guess that bar over there is for safety purposes. If you guys know, please let me know in the comment section. Here's the interior. Totally OEM. I love it. Look at the gauging on there. Check out this 1906 Rover. You got a tiger sitting in the car there. Oh, that yellow is so beautiful. Oh, I love it. I'm going to get this tiger who looks very happy sitting in his Rover, or her Rover, who knows. Look at that, folks. So this is a very interesting exhibit. It looks like you have something very retro here. You see the cathode ray tube television in the background here. And I'm guessing this kind of shows just the whole thought process of innovation, you know, from back in the older days, And this is something innovative here. So it looks like a car that's kind of meant for the city. I'm guessing this is an electric car, just meant for the city and just meant to be more effective at getting around the city and being more efficient using electric instead of gas. Love those rear lights. So this is specifically meant to be a government car. So it's used by government personnel as a more effective means of getting around the city. So check out this wooden exhibit here. That is very interesting. And next we have an absolutely breathtaking 1959 Triumph TR3A. Looks absolutely beautiful in red. So these three cars here, I believe, are the last ones in this whole area, or probably the whole floor. The top one is the 80 Triumph. The one in the middle is a 79 MG, and the bottom one is a 74 Triumph. So three very beautiful cars. You know what? I don't think I got this section, so I'm just gonna pan here real quick. And I will just add this to the video. But yeah, this is why you guys have to actually come to the museum, because just watching it on a video, again, while I appreciate you guys watching the content, it doesn't do the museum justice. You really have to go here, come here, and experience it. Oh, that's a beautiful car there. Look at that. Wow. We'll continue along this corridor here. Oh my goodness. So nice bit of historical, nice bit of history here. Stop it right there. Hey everyone, hope we're all having a good time and hope you guys are enjoying the footage at this point. So we have now completed the entire lower level of the British Motor Museum. So we're making some very good progress here, folks. Now we're going to go upstairs and see what we can find. Let's go. First, I will do a quick pan. So we have some cars kind of here, and then we have a whole number of cars over here that we will now cover. So we'll just first walk this row over here. And this car has a really beautiful color scheme. It's a 1979 Vauxhall Chevette HS 2300, and the one in the middle here is a 1970 Vauxhall HB Viva GT, and then the last car here is a 1975 Vauxhall Firenze HP Droop Snoot. And you can see that Vauxhall has some very, very unique and interesting design language in their cars. And this one here is a 1987 Vauxhall Calibra V6. So something definitely much more modern. Looks like we have some really beautiful vintage cars in this row that we will now get. And this first one here, beautiful maroon color here. This first car here is a 1980 Vauxhall Cavalier 2000 GLS. The second car here, 1975 Vauxhall FE Victor 2300. Ooh, look at this one here. 1970 Vauxhall PC Viscount. That definitely gives you some American car vibes with how beefy it looks. And this blue one here is a 1965 Vauxhall PP Cresta Hydromatic. And it's almost like either Vauxhall is getting influenced by the American cars, or maybe the American cars got influenced by Vauxhall, but you can see kind of the similarities there. Now check out the beautiful trim work on this wagon. And the first wagon here is a 1964 Vauxhall FB Victor Deluxe Estate. Ooh, look at this one, 61 Vauxhall. Totally has the Bel Air vibes on it. Look at that front. This totally has Bel Air vibes. Wow. Here almost had Ford Fairlane vibes with the rear. This one is a 59 Vauxhall PA Velux. And then the last one here is a 49 Vauxhall L-Type Wyvern. And this one here, a very sporty looking 2004 Vauxhall VXR 2200. Finish off this segment with a 2000 Vauxhall Astra Coupe 888. here we start off with a 2017 Vauxhall VXR8 GTSR. And you can see the aggressive body styling on the sedan here. Also has the real spoiler, so it's totally maintaining the trend, the general automotive trend of the sedans being sportier. Got that badge. So this Vauxhall is 2011 Ampera. And this is an electric hybrid, folks. Check out this gorgeous 1968 Bedford CA van, which clearly looks like a delivery van or a delivery truck or what have you. Look at this. Ooh. So this is a race support vehicle. Ooh, I love that color combo there. Right back to some vintage 1911 Vauxhall C-Type. Prince Henry. Ooh. So this definitely looks like something quite luxurious here. Hey, look how plush the seats are, and there's a decent amount of room back here. More plush seating, and again, just really looks like very high quality materials used. So definitely looks like something intended for luxury. Yeah, I just can't help my love for the badges, as you guys have already noticed. And this car here is a 1930 Vauxhall T-Type Melton Golfers Coupe. Wow, breathtaking, so clean. And we finish off this section strong with a 1909 Vauxhall B-Type Semi-Racer. Yeah, just look at the details on this. This is beautiful. And this is definitely a car I can see myself pimping at the Jersey Shore in Sea City. Would certainly get some attention, no question. Hey everyone, so we have now completed this level of cars. So I think this will be an opportune moment to pan down, since we're on the second level, to pan down to the first level and see what kind of view of the cars we can get. Let's do it. So just to kind of give you a better idea, just going to pan down. I love how the cars are laid out. So yeah, I definitely think the museum did an excellent job in how they oriented the cars. Very, very interesting and very nicely done. Shit. So this is going to be a really nice shot here, just see in a second. As I'm panning, check out how these cars are laid out over here. So this is a really beautiful shot over here of all the cars. Hey everyone, so I'm going to go ahead and do my wrap up for the British Motor Museum portion of my visit. And first and foremost, I want to take time to thank Lucy and her team for allowing me to get the footage of these beautiful and amazing cars in this museum, and also for the correspondence and for guiding me through the process. You know, as a small creator, someone that really doesn't have any, you know, media credentials, I'm just a small creator and I love cars. You know, it was an absolute pleasure and an absolute joy to be able to come here and to see these awesome cars. And it was just cool to see a lot of the cars I hadn't even seen before. And, you know, I've been doing this for a little over 2 years, and I've been to a lot of car events. And, you know, there's a really big British car representation in my country, in the States. But there were still a lot of cars I had never seen, like for example, the Morrises and the Wolseleys, if I'm pronouncing that right. And I'll also apologize for any mispronunciations, but in any case, you know, there were just a lot of cars here that I had never seen before. So it's just so fascinating. And I also want to add, I also love the way the cars are set up. You can see in the background, just the cars are really nicely oriented, so just a really cool orientation. In fact, the only downside I have to say of my trip is that just as someone coming, you know, as a YouTuber trying to get footage, you know, you miss out a little bit on some of the history and everything. And, you know, with that being said, for those of you watching the video, you know, a video can only do so much justice. So, you know, while I'm certainly glad that, you know, those of you that watch the video do enjoy the footage, I would still encourage you to come to this museum because it really is amazing. And, I would definitely love to come here again and not even film it, just come here and just be able to look at the cars, read the history, and really take in the experience and really feel enriched. Because as a creator, I've also become fascinated with the history as well, and I've been kind of even studying and slowly learning about the history of some of the cars and the manufacturers, and also the some of the pioneers who clearly of a different cloth and had to go through a lot more struggle, and they're a little bit kind of more eccentric, I guess, for obvious reasons, because they pretty much started these great companies and were the founders of these great of the sprawling of the whole automobile industry in any case. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up now. So basically, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Bistragini. I provide car content. I cover classics, customs, exotics. I would say, if you're someone that really loves cars, that's into cars in general, and even if it's not just exotics, it's exotic, classic, custom, you like a whole garden variety of cars, then you definitely want to follow my channel. So I would say lastly that if you enjoyed the content, go ahead, hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.